I was all ready to talk about tax reform because the media chatter is that as President Trump and the Republicans try to come up with some kind of plan, the president's making life difficult because he keeps shooting down proposals to get rid of popular deductions. But just a minute. The president yesterday said that I don't even know who cooked this up on the GOP side, the idea to dramatically slash the amount of tax-exempt contributions that somebody can make to a 401k is not happening. Well, it was a politically insane idea. I mean, right now a worker can contribute $18,000 a year, $24,000 if you're over 50, and the Republicans, or at least some Republicans, wanted to cut that down to $2,400. This is the main retirement vehicle for millions and millions of American workers. It was never going to pass, and if that's the only way they can make it work, they've got to find another method. But my efforts to talk about the intricacies of tax reform, which is so fascinating, was completely blown away by the Bob Corker show. I mean, if you turned on television yesterday in the morning, CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC, you saw the Republican chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee trash-talking President Trump, and it will not surprise you to know that the President of the United States hit back hard primarily on Twitter. So among the things that Corker, who's not running for re-election, was saying is that the governing mode of this White House is to purposefully divide. On another channel, he said, I don't know why he lowers himself to such a low standard and is debasing our country. And on Twitter, same untruths from the president, from an utterly untruthful president, hashtag alert the daycare staff. Well, President Trump didn't take very kindly to those remarks. He said Bob Corker, who helped President O give us the bad Iran deal, couldn't get elected dog catcher in Tennessee and is now fighting the tax cuts. Also called him incompetent. He said Corker doesn't have a clue. People like little Bob Corker have set the U.S. way back. Now, I know you kind of feel like you've seen this movie before because there was at least 2 earlier rounds of the two of them slugging it out, and Corker said he's leading us down the path to World War III and all of that. But what was significant about this yesterday is that it was supposed to be a Republican Unity Day. President Trump having a bunch of Republican senators over the White House for lunch. Corker was invited. And then going up to the Hill. And instead, of course, the coverage it got completely and totally overshadowed. So either you saw Corker on TV, or you saw him on Twitter, or you saw him standing in the Senate hallway surrounded by TV cameras and ripping into Trump yet again. That was carried live on some cable news networks. Now, I don't know what's going on here. If Corker wants to claim that the White House is an adult daycare center, he's not exactly acting like the adult in the room. It sounds like he's venting a lot of accumulated anger at the president. And President Trump, could obviously choose to ignore or deflect some of this, but that's not his style. And so you had this feud kind of dominating the day's headlines and giving anything but the picture of Republican unity. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to imperil tax reform. I think the Republican Party is under a lot of pressure to get some kind of tax cut through, if not by the end of the year, then early next year. But let's just put it this way. Having the Republican president and the Republican foreign relations guy go at it hour after hour, I mean, this was like watching, the real politicians of the Beltway just slamming each other, isn't making the job of getting consensus on tax reform any easier.